Tens thousands of climate activists took streets New York on Sunday, marching to end fossil fuels, and Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez told the crowd that movement must be too big and radical ignore. The progressive Democrat, who received applause from crowd, criticized United States' continued approval of fossil fuel projects. This is something Biden administration did with controversial Willow project in Alaska earlier this year. We are all here for one reason: to end fossil fuels on planet. Ocasio-Cortez said at a rally at end of March that ended near UN headquarters, where world leaders will gather this week. And way we create urgency is to have people all over the world on streets. He said the U.S. continues approve record numbers of fossil fuel leases, and we need to send a message here today. He said, adding that despite record profits, support for the fossil fuel industry was starting to wear out and crack. He said climate action requires democratic restructuring of the economy. What we want do is move from oil barons to solar barons. Organizers estimated that 50,000 to 75,000 people attended March Manhattan and predicted it would be the largest climate march in United States 5 years. NYPD said it does not comment on crowd numbers. On September 17, 2023, people in New York City marched to end fossil fuels. Justin LaneEPA, "This is an incredible moment," said Jean Su of the Center for Biological Diversity, who helped organize the movement. Tens thousands people are marching on the streets New York because they want climate action and understand that Biden's expansion fossil fuels squanders our last chance to avoid climate catastrophe. He said action was largest climate protest in United States since beginning of pandemic. This also shows tremendous courage struggle of people, especially young people and communities living on front lines of fossil fuel violence, to demand change for future that they have right to fight for lead, he said. The march comes as world leaders gather for this week's General Assembly and the UN Climate Goals Summit on Wednesday, which Secretary General António Guterres described as a no-nonsense conference aimed at highlighting new climate commitments. Biden was praised by climate activists for passing a landmark $369 billion climate bill last year, but criticized for allowing oil drilling projects and the expansion of gas facilities in the Gulf of Mexico. Su of the Center for Biological Diversity said Biden's decision to stay away from the UN Goals Summit was unacceptable. Lennox Yearwood, president of the Hip Hop Caucus, likened today's climate movement to the United States fight for racial justice. Skip the past introduction for Down to Earth, the free weekly, the planet's most important stories. Indigenous leaders come together to advocate for climate. Anadolu Agency Young Ugandan climate activist Vanessa Nakate said, "When we say we want climate justice, we're not just talking about